Okay, we're going to try and sharpen on the Benton grinder. The first thing is you want to go to your grinding slips and choose the appropriate slip. In this case, I'm grinding a 7/1000 cutter, so I'm going to put that in the slot. You may have to back it off to get it in there. Then take your quill, put it in the bed, and this is I had to pull the trigger forward to get it in. Run it all the way to the stop and screw it down tight. Then you want to find one of the slots that lines up such that when the wheel passes behind it, it will go over one of the flats of the pyramid. There are 4 sides, so you want to make sure that it's parallel with one of the sides. Then we have to put a little new material to feed in. Not very much. We use the wrench, put it on the nut, holding the trigger down against this so it won't turn. We're going to turn it just a little bit, just enough, so you can take a long, slender screwdriver and go in to the back of the quill and rotate it until you find the slot. Once you feel pressure, then give it about 1/4 of a turn, not very much. You'll see the steel advancing in the nose of the quill, and then retighten it up, remove the wrench, and you're ready to do some cutting. Now the main thing is you want to hang on to the right so that the wheel doesn't go sliding over into the steel and cause problems. And you want to set the forward and back motion of the quill so that it's out of the way of the wheel. You can pass the wheel by it first and slowly advance until we take off just a little bit. Now what I forgot to mention first is in the back there's a 4-sided block that has F, S, R, and B. We want to use the F setting, which is the fine setting. So when you swing the table back, the table will rest against the F setting block in the back. S is for setting the stone and whatnot. Okay, so I use, instead of the apparatus that Patrick has, I use a spray nozzle, which is a mister that machinists use for cooling steel that you're cutting, and that will spray a fine mist onto the tool steel, because the tool steel is very small and it can easily get burned up. So now I'm waiting for the water to start coming. There we go. All right, so I'm going to hold the trigger, holding the table back against that block that we just talked about. And you also have to hang on to the end of the wheel. All right. Now I've got this already set up so it will be parallel to one of the sides. So I'm going to advance it. It didn't cut anything, so I'm going to advance it a little more. That cut a little bit. Just a little bit more. Then we're going to open the trigger, go to the next parallel slot, 90 degrees. Come back, going another 90 degrees. We're basically going to go around the steel so all 4 sides are been shaved just a little bit. Now I'm back to where I started. I can now advance the steel a little bit more. If you want, you can use the locking bar underneath to lock it back. I don't do that. I just use the trigger and hold the back of the grinder and use that pressure, back pressure. There, I'm cutting a little bit. And you keep doing this. Oops, I saw a spark. That means I'm going too fast. You want to, I just rock it back and forth, taking a tiny little bite off at a time. Well, I saw some more sparks. I'm definitely cutting too much at a time here. Now I'm going to just go very slowly. Now, at some point, when you get done with the side, you can rotate forward. That's what gives the bevel on the nose of the cutter. And that's why I don't lock it, so that I can rock it forward more easily. Whoops, I'm going to let go. That was not good. So you want to keep proceeding forward until the stop bottoms out. And make sure the feet are all the way down in there. And once it bottoms out, then you're going to go, instead of 90 degrees, you're going to go to 45 degrees. You're going to take out the stop, run it all the way in, rotate it to the front, and then you're going to cut across, making the chisel point. Then you're going to go 180 degrees, rotate it to the front, and make one cut across, and you're done. At that point, you're going to measure. Now, if at that point the cutter is too big, that can be solved by, instead of using the 7, I could use the 6 if it's off by 1/1000. And then just do the final 4 sides and do the nose tweak again. If the cutter is too small, that's it. You have to start all over again, loosen the nut, advance a little more steel, and you might want to try, instead of the 7, if that made it too small, by say 1/1000, so you wound up with a 6 and you want a 7, then you would use an 8, hoping that the 8 would come out too small and give you a 7. So that's the short grand tour.